For myself personally, like, I didn't do track until I got to high school, and I started it just then. And when you see like other kids around you getting offers senior, sophomore, junior year, and you're thinking, why am I not getting mine now, or am I ever going to be able to play in college? Mine came like the summer before I went to college. So like work hard, as Jason said, and work hard in the beginning. Like don't start clinging down junior year because you've lost 2 years. Go in it like with a I'm going to do this and I'm going to do my best attitude freshman year going forward. Because by senior year, you'll be able to cool off and be like, okay, I've worked hard, I can kind of chill out before I go to college, or this is my last year.
And it was very demanding, but and especially if you guys go to, some of you who are going to private schools, it's even like it really does restrict your time. So just make sure that you're still being dedicated to, you know, the athletics, but also your academics, and making sure you're managing your time correctly and eating correctly and being healthy, because all of that does add to how well you perform.
But the big thing is time management and dedication. You have to prove to yourself like, hey, I can be a student and I can be an athlete. So you really have to make the time for yourself, the time for like in the classroom, on the field, and it is really hard. And if you guys have any questions about like being an athlete in high school and in college at a really demanding level, I am a D1 soccer player, which is not easy, but anybody can do it.
So you'll learn things quicker in any level that you're in, which is level 1, 2, honors, anything. So you're gonna get a lot of work during the school day, and then homework all depends on how much you put in during the day. That's basically what I'm gonna put out there.
I would say come prepared to work. Like seriously, you have to come prepared to work. Whether you go to a public high school or a private high school, you need to come in with that mindset. Because if you're just coming in with like, oh, it's my freshman year, so it's like gonna be easier than the other year, so I'll just kind of chill, then it won't really work out. Because despite being a freshman, like you still have real work to do. So you have to make sure that you're in the right mindset so you can get your work done.
Understanding what kind of learner you are and what your needs are, and then not being afraid to ask for help. I'm hard-headed, so I'll be like, I got this. D on that test. Ooh, maybe I don't got this. Like, so making sure you understand like what kind of learner you are and asking for help. I would also say, just because I went to private school, it was really hard coming from Lawrence Public Schools, who really did not prepare me, and being in a school where there's a lot of diversity, so people are coming from different places, and so you feel sometimes like you're dumb, maybe, or like less than, or you're just not at the same level. Just know that everybody's, you know, doing their own thing on your own path, and you will, you know, if you put in the amount of work, even if you feel like it's more than someone else, you will be rewarded. You just need to come prepared to work.
But what I will say is that, you know, you showing that you want to learn during the summer and putting in this effort will pay off later on. So those first few weeks may be a breeze for some, and maybe, you know, a refresher for others and stuff like that. But know that the work ethic that you're instilling in yourself now will pay off later. So, you know, continue doing things like this in order to continue your learning, because that will only set you ahead of the curve.
So like, I know for me personally, during my free periods, I tend to hang out with friends, which really affects me when I get home and I have so much homework and I'm so tired. Like, again, just use your time wisely and make sure that, yes, you have fun at school, but at the same time that you actually do the work that that you have at school sometimes too.
Calling you fake.
Yeah, yeah, because sometimes you really have to kind of prioritize your importance really. Like if you're looking to, let's say, play a college sport and you're trying to get straight A's, let's say you're trying to play like an Ivy or something, that means you know to yourself that you have to, your friend's gonna kind of have to come second to your grades and everything, and then actually come third because you're gonna have to go switch that. You're gonna have to go your academics, your sports, and then your friends afterwards, you know. But a way to kind of balance it would have to be like same with like we said earlier, with kind of like time management, and then having like the work ethic to kind of like get your work done, and then get it done in like a manner where it's like an acceptable way.
Thinking that I had time when I did, so I'll like know that I have an assignment due, and I'll say, okay, I have a weekend to do, or I have a week to do it. That week is gonna go by like nothing. So just make sure that you're ahead of the things that you have to do, and like literally invest in a planner. Get you a nice little agenda, put a little flower on, I don't care, but write down everything you have to do, and make sure like that you know that that's what you have to do.
Hold on. Well, one thing that Loretta did, you come before everything else. So you have to
remember that sports, academics, friends, family, social media, everything, you only have 24 hours in a day. Take time for yourself. Make sure that you're mentally ready to do everything. So this summer, before going into high school, that's the first thing that you need to do. Just mentally prepare yourself. Tell yourself that it's gonna be a little tough, but you're gonna work through it. And before even doing homework or doing anything, sit down for 5 minutes and just relax. You're not gonna have a lot of time to do it, but you need to put time like during your day to just remind yourself that you do come first and you are important.
So how do you separate it for yourself? Because you have the homeworks, then you have the, you know, your daily stuff that you have to do.
So it's really hard, but there's so many people to help you too. So like if you feel like you don't know something or you can't figure something out, there will be a dorm parent, which is like the faculty that's in charge of what housing you're in. There will also be proctors, upperclassmen proctors. Those are the people who are in charge of whatever house, like the students who are in charge of like also helping you out. The academic office, there's so many resources, so don't feel like just because you may not get it right away, don't feel like there aren't people out there. Like people get paid to help you get it together. So know that. So know that as well. But it's also, again, knowing what kind of learner you are and how much time you need for things. Like sit down, get a planner. Okay, this assignment is going to take me 20 minutes. This one's gonna take me 2 hours because my teacher's tripping. Like just make sure you organize yourself correctly and just do it. Because that was some of my issues. Like I'll write it down, but I wasn't doing it till like an hour. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. I haven't done any homework. You know, I gotta wake up at 6. Like you just have to really commit to what you're doing and understand that. In the topic of friends that we mentioned earlier, if your friends aren't in the mentality that I'm here to do work, then you need new friends because they can't be bugging and like, you're not hanging out with me. Okay, you're not going to give me my scholarships and my college acceptances. So you got to mean. So exactly. So you have to make sure that you're surrounding yourself around people who are actually going to motivate and uplift you. Otherwise,
you got to cut them.
I would say in terms of day school, like Pingree specifically, because that's where I go, free periods are important. So definitely when you have a free period, you need to get your work done. Because when the day ends, you have to go to your afternoon activity or your sport or whatever, and that's going to take an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And then after that, you go home, you're obviously tired, you got to shower, eat, and then do your homework for the next day. So definitely time management is big.
But if you allow them to become sleepless nights, absolutely. But if you manage your time and you say, listen, I'm not doing any work after, let's say, 11:30 at night. It's a little late, but you know, we're going to bed late. We're not gonna lie. If just say to yourself, after 11:30, if that's not done, I gotta find time the next day. Because let's be honest, if you're really just overworking yourself and you're gonna be tired for the next day in school, it's like a perpetuating cycle that you don't want to fall under. So that goes for anything, whether it's homework or any assignments that you have to do. Just put yourself on a schedule and tell yourself, yo, if it's taking me more than 2 hours to get this done, I need to move on. You need to prioritize, and that's really what we mean by time management, because we throw that word around all the time, but sometimes if you never heard it, you don't really understand what that means. It's putting yourself on a schedule, following that schedule, and being disciplined with yourself. Because there were times where I was like, ooh, I gave myself an hour to get this done, I'm gonna make it 2 hours, 3 hours. It pushed everything else back. So if I was more disciplined, maybe I would have went smoother, but you're gonna make it. And you're gonna be okay. So that's what we mean by time management. Sometimes you will get a really boring teacher. And you know, not every teacher is different, everybody has a style, but when you put it into that context, like, wow, I really did all this to just ignore whatever this teacher's saying, it will keep you engaged. That's like as simple as we can put it. You did all that work, 40 minutes, what is it going to cost you?
It's either you put in the work in the classroom or you do it at home. So if you know that you're not going to pay attention to the classroom and the teacher isn't engaging with you or it's not fun, then you have to go home and be like, oh, I have to relearn this on my own. Because there are ways around it, but either way, those hours have to come in out of somewhere. So it's either you do it in the classroom and get it done with during the school day, or you say, okay, I'm gonna bull during classroom, but when I come home, I'm gonna take my textbook and look through it.
You need to do stuff that puts you aside from everyone else, because at the end of the day, the person that they put aside, that's the person they remember versus everyone who's like everyone else. So those types of things that put you aside, like you can say, oh, I did a varsity sport for 4 years versus 2, the things that put you, like, we need to start thinking about it starting our freshman year to be able to have those.
Make sure you have things under control first, right? Start your freshman year, get comfortable with everything, get comfortable with the workload, you are just a freshman. Absolutely start thinking about college. You want to set yourself up for success. So you don't want to slip through the cracks and have, you know, like a crappy freshman year. You want to have your grades really strong. All of that extra stuff with college and all of that, yes, have it in the back of your mind, but don't let it drive you crazy. Enjoy your freshman year. Make sure you set a strong foundation, and then that's all gonna come. Because I promise you, if y'all are here, you're already all doing things that are setting you aside for college.
Yes, setting yourself apart is really important, especially going towards the future, but I would say just as important is growth. So if you start out, you know, just working on your foundation and becoming like a good student and being comfortable, once you're comfortable, like Jada said, you can look at all the different opportunities your high school has, whether, you know, it's playing a varsity sport or doing an arts or a play or doing a gallery, something like that. Growth in general is very important to the human experience. And when you're going into colleges and you talk about how, you know, I may have had a little bit of trouble, but by the end of the year I had all A's and B's. You know, I'm a captain of my varsity team. I have an art gallery out, like I did these 2 plays, like this, that, and the other. That is just as important as, you know, being all 4 years, you know, varsity athlete, having straight A's and stuff like that. So definitely don't limit yourself to, or setting high expectations that, you know, it's good to set high expectations, but at the same time you want them to be realistic and make sure that you're okay first, and then second, worry about, you know, getting to where you need to be.
If you're not comfortable with what people around you are doing, whatever that may be, let it be known, right? You need to also be true to yourself. You don't want to fake who you are just to get friends. You're going to make friends everywhere. They're going to come. Your time will come to do whatever it is that you want to do. You are going to be presented with a lot of peer pressure. You are going to be the youngest in a high school. You're going to be freshmen. So you may feel like you have to force yourself to do things, hang out with certain people. You don't got to do none of that. Be true to yourself before anything else.
Make sure that you have a person that you can talk to.
Yeah, and like quickly off of that, make sure you have someone at school too, because the worst feeling is feeling like you're alone. That's horrible. So whether it's a faculty member, like your advisor that you're really close with, if you have like really tight friends who go to your school, just people who support you, because you don't want to feel alone when you're dealing with things like that.
We have time for one more quick question.
If your environment, if your outside or external environment isn't positive, your insides have to be positive. So the people you surround yourself, what you consume in the media, the voice in your head, if you constantly hear yourself talking down to yourself, that has to change. And if you have that community, cherish it and take care of it. But yeah, it's just all about getting to know yourself, understanding yourself, and like, no matter what everyone else is saying, kind of listening to the voice in your head and being like, I got this, I'm worthy, I love me. Because when you love yourself, like, it doesn't matter what the outside is, like, your insides are strong. That makes sense.